the first step to that for us is really looking at what is the justice lens for you to understand what is the root cause of the work that you're doing. Where does your work begin? Are you trying to, is your work going to increase a vision of social justice, of economic justice, of racial justice?
We also have to talk about the collective work of 25, 30 organizations. So this framework allows us to talk about specifically what is the work that happens, what is the social change work that happens.
We believe that we're supporting your groups to do, with general operating dollars, to do your core work. This isn't about maybe the example you brought out that you illustrated in your proposal of, oh, this little bit of work because it's only $10,000. We believe that we're supporting you to do your core work. Your core work aligns with one of these.
Our justice is social justice.
We've identified 4 key shifts that we want you to select from. These transformational shifts are really, as we've looked at the research around social justice movements, are really key to understanding that you're making progress in your work. So these shifts are about collective identity in action, and it's about the ability for you and your community to both get a sense of belonging and a sense of momentum towards policy change. Shifts in engagement and interaction really have to do with a larger mobilization that you have in your work or sustained mobilization. Shifts in institutions and policy really have to do with, as you've identified, specific policy at a local or a state or a national level which you're going to engage in. We're asking you to identify what is the progress. So the shifts are really identifying what are the progress that you're hoping to make in this year. And any one of these shifts are fine.
Our shifts, I decided to take the one initiative which is marriage equality, which if we get a pro-equality governor and keep a few seats in the House, we will have marriage equality in 2011. Yay! So it's definitely a shift in definitions or framing of the issue.
So step 3, intermediary indicators, are really for us to understand the success that you're going to make in a year.
The reality is we looked at Headwaters over the last number of years, we see that for the most part policy change that we've been supporting at the level that we've been at so far, while it may lead to some, over time, lead to some statewide or national stuff, this stuff is pretty local. So as you look at your work, don't feel that we're saying you need to rewrite the Constitution. We're talking about these local policies that built up over time.
Our indicators are everything. New leaders, increase the base, strategic alliances, increase
the next step
schedule.
Is really the core of your work, which is for you to identify in this evaluation plan. Step 4 is really for you to talk about what are the strategies and the specific goals that you hope to achieve this year.
We know that you guys are broad and big thinkers who don't necessarily or don't at all engage in the work and have been, engaged resources from Headwaters to do one thing, one time, to make the world better. We know that you have multiple year strategies. We know that we have not had the ability to fund it in multiple year support, but we know you're thinking long term about how this stuff works. And that's really what we're asking you when we get to the evaluation plan to talk about. So what is the strategy? Why do you do the work that you do? What is your hope to, what is your strategy for bringing about change? Just dissect that and talk about that. And then what are your specific goals? What are the measurable, observable, achievable goals that you can do? For some of your organizations that may be expanding your base of community support by 20 or 30 people, because that's what's significant in your campaign and to make your policy change.
Our work plan comes right out of our proposal. Develop leaders to advocate, that's kind of grass tops. increase youth participation, increase people of colored leadership and involvement, encourage organizations, law firms, institutions to become marriage supporters, get involved in faith communities, allied and coalition building, and influence public opinion through grassroots.
Step 5 of the evaluation plan is really for you to articulate how you're going to measure your goals.
How do you know what you know?
And how will I know we're making progress? We'll pass marriage legislation. And the impact I kind of made up, I think it's normalized public opinion of GLBT relationships. And I think it's important to concentrate on, this is really only about GLBT relationships. We do so much more.